by how you ball.
But that,
like it's that simple.
Which, to his point, is keeping the main.
And I'm rooting for the brother, and I hope that he does well tonight.
Was Shedeur Sanders just flexing when he said his custom Nike cleats sold out? Turns out he wasn't bluffing, because the hype is real. Nike is now circling him for a record-breaking extension that could make him the highest-paid rookie endorser in history. But while fans can't stop grabbing his jersey, not everyone inside the NFL is smiling about it. Behind closed doors, league executives are rattled as reports confirm Nike is preparing a massive contract extension with Sanders after rookie jersey sales hit levels nobody saw coming. Sources say the sportswear giant is stunned at how much profit their fifth-round gamble has already delivered. They're now looking to throw him a deal that could flip the whole endorsement game upside down. Forget traditional rookie hype. This is a money storm like the league has never seen. Here's what lit the fuse. After Sanders' preseason debut against the Carolina Panthers, the numbers rolled in, and they were insane. His jerseys racked up a jaw-dropping $250 million, making him the biggest rookie jersey seller since his father, Deion "Primetime" Sanders, ran the NFL spotlight decades ago. To put that into perspective, most rookies don't even come close to sniffing that amount across an entire season. Sanders stacked those numbers in just weeks, rewriting every rule about what a rookie can mean to the business side of football. And here's the part that makes this story even wilder. Sanders isn't just cashing checks from his rookie contract. He's got a revolutionary clause baked into his deal that changes the way money flows forever. It's called the Prime Equity Clause, and it's a total game changer. This deal gives Sanders a cut of every dollar made off his name. Jerseys, sponsorships, promos, you name it.
I gifted them some cleats. Some warm, some didn't, but I was like, okay, this is just my little appreciation gift to them. Because they don't be having a lot of...
From those $250 million in jersey sales alone, Sanders is walking away with around $14 million. That's more than triple his entire 4-year rookie contract worth just $4.6 million. That's not luck, it's strategy. The financial blueprint laid out by Sanders and his team signals a whole new playbook for how young stars are entering the league. While most rookies grind just to make the roster, Sanders stepped in already moving like a CEO. His career isn't just about football, it's about building a full-blown lifestyle empire. Let that sink in. Most fifth-rounders are praying just to get a second contract, but Sanders has already leapfrogged past veterans who've been in the game for years. Before even starting one regular season game, he's cashed out more than players drafted way ahead of him. This isn't just a contract, it's a shockwave ripping through the NFL economy. The Sanders-Nike connection is not your regular endorsement. It's a blueprint for the future. Their story kicked off in August 2024 when Nike made Sanders their very first NIL football athlete. A bold move that showed the swoosh was betting heavy on his name. The timing couldn't have been sweeter. Sanders was fresh off a record-shattering season at Colorado, lighting up defenses for 4,134 passing yards and 37 touchdowns in 2024. But Nike wasn't just buying stats. They saw the bigger picture. A generational quarterback with the bloodline, the swagger, and the marketability to carry a legacy built by none other than his father, Deion "Primetime" Sanders. This whole deal was built to echo the legacy of his father, Deion Sanders. Back in the 90s, Deion's Nike collab birthed the legendary Air Diamond Turf DT sneakers, shoes that became icons thanks to their wild two-sport swagger in football and baseball. Now Nike is using that same playbook with Shedeur, and the results are explosive.
$150 million in rookie jersey sales for Shedeur Sanders, which means he's going to commission $14 million. He only made $4.6 million from his rookie contract. So he's already made more than most second, third.
Here's the twist. While experts pegged him as a top quarterback prospect, Sanders shockingly slid all the way to the 5th round, 144th overall to the Cleveland Browns. Many whispered his bold contract demands scared teams off. But Nike? They never blinked. In April 2025, just before the draft, they broke months of silence and went all in on Sanders with a blitz of promos. Suddenly, social media was flooded with his face and custom gear, like all-gray Nike Air DT Max 96 sneakers paired with matching Vapor Edge 360 DT cleats. Posts came with captions like, "Nothing left to do," 4.24 speed in poetry in motion. It was a marketing masterclass, timed, sharp, and unforgettable. And the numbers prove it. By the time draft day hit, Sanders' NIL valuation skyrocketed to $6.5 million, ranking him the top-valued college athlete according to On3. He stacked deals with Gatorade, Beats by Dre, and even Mercedes-Benz, but Nike stood firm as the crown jewel of his brand empire. Make no mistake, the jersey sales explosion didn't come out of thin air. It was months of precision strategy, slick storytelling, and the most important piece, Sanders delivering on the field. In his preseason debut against the Panthers, he did exactly what Nike banked on, completing 14 of 23 passes for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns, showing the poise and accuracy of a star ready for prime time. College star turned viral sensation. Just hours after Sanders lit up the field, Nike Football dropped an ad on X with the caption, "Only a matter of time," spotlighting his trademark watch celebration. That post exploded, pulling in over 196,000 likes and thousands of reposts.
The very best in Adam Schefter. There is none better, okay? And when you heard them talking about him, you heard folks calling teams, the Adam Schefters, the Lewis Riddicks of the world, Ryan Clarks of the world, others, you as well. And you heard people saying, "We ain't taking him." Before the draft.
Proof that real, raw moments can create buzz no marketing budget could ever buy. But here's the real shocker. It's not just about sales, it's about what those numbers mean for the future of sports. Thanks to the Prime Equity Clause, Sanders owns his personal content across Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. Plus, he's got media rights for exclusive behind-the-scenes footage. That's not just a perk. That's a blueprint that could flip athlete negotiations forever. Think about it. Rookie deals were designed to lock players into rigid structures, keeping power with the league and its owners. But Sanders broke the mold. He's not just an employee. He's a business partner. If other rookies start demanding the same, the entire NFL economy could be turned upside down, along with Nike's marketing machine and every brand scrambling to catch up. What Nike pulled off with Sanders isn't just a sponsorship. It's a masterclass in brand building that's left the sports world shook. Nobody expected a fifth-round rookie to spark this kind of chaos. But that's exactly what's happening. This is marketing evolution in real time. Nike blended digital speed, product innovation, and storytelling into one powerful campaign that elevated Sanders from draft sleeper to instant icon. And in today's NIL era, where college stars are supposed to slowly climb the ladder, Nike proved they can rocket one straight into professional superstardom. The roots of this groundbreaking partnership go back to Sanders' first big NIL announcement, a joint Instagram drop with Nike that set the tone for future collabs in apparel and footwear. The move echoed his father, Deion Sanders, whose bond with Nike gave the world the legendary Nike Air DT Max 96 sneakers. Now reimagined in fresh colorways worn by Shedeur during huge moments like his pro day.
For anybody out there that feels like they've been done wrong, you are always going to end up on the right side if you are a good person. Shedeur has been doing nothing but keeping quiet, working, minding his business, driving the speed limit hopefully, and doing everything he needs to do to prepare for this upcoming.
The family connection added instant authenticity, blending nostalgia for old-school fans with excitement for a whole new generation. But Nike's boldest play came with their pre-draft blitz. While most brands sit back and wait to see where a player lands, Nike flipped the script. They flooded social media with Sanders' content, dropping shots of him in custom all-gray Nike Air DT Max 96 and matching Vapor Edge 360 DT cleats, paired with motivational captions that hyped up his style and built massive anticipation for his pro debut. And they didn't stop at hype. They went deep into product innovation. Nike rolled out exclusive Sanders gear featuring his personal S2 logo, a square dollar sign tied to his number 2 jersey. That little detail screamed one thing loud and clear. Sanders wasn't just another rookie. He was treating his career like a business empire in motion. The marketing genius really showed when Sanders hit the NFL preseason stage on August 9, 2025. He completed 14 of 23 passes for 138 yards and a touchdown, and Nike pounced instantly. Within hours, Nike Football dropped a polished ad campaign that captured his watch celebration and blasted it across the internet. That kind of real-time marketing? Unheard of before. Nike set a new standard, proving they don't just sign athletes, they build moments the second they happen. That Nike ad with the caption, "Only a matter of time," lit the internet on fire. Featuring Sanders in Browns gear, it stormed across Instagram and TikTok, racking up 11 million impressions in under 24 hours. That's 4 times Nike's usual engagement. This wasn't just a promo, it was the birth of a cultural moment happening live. And the merch strategy, absolutely next level. Nike rolled out what might be the most complete product lineup ever for a rookie. From jerseys to sneakers, from premium drops to budget-friendly gear, they made sure every fan could get a piece of Sanders without losing the luxury edge.
Clause is called Prime Equity. This clause gives Sanders a percentage of revenue generated from merchandise, sponsorships, and promotions linked to his name and likeness. That's what they said. It wasn't that his character was stupid. They was trying
He's so smart.
Yeah, that's why he got picked so far back, because apparently his agents wanted this clause.
The jersey collection alone set a new standard. Cleveland Browns, Shedeur Sanders, 2025 draft jerseys. Available in men's, women's, and youth fits, priced from $130 to $175. But these weren't generic jerseys. They came loaded with mesh panels for airflow, authentic NFL shields, and ventilated cuts that balanced performance with streetwear style. Nike didn't stop there. They added a line of graphic tees stamped with Sanders branding, priced at just $30 to $50, giving younger fans and casual buyers a way to join the movement without breaking the bank, all while keeping that clean Nike vibe. And they flooded every corner of the retail game. Dick's Sporting Goods, eBay, Rally House, you name it, Sanders gear was there. But the real crown jewel? The footwear. Limited runs of the Nike Air DT Max 96 Pro Day editions and Vapor Edge 360 DT cleats dropped at $150 to $200. These weren't just cleats. They were collector's items, tying Shedur's rise to his father's primetime legacy while carving his own lane. The final touch? Nike's mastery of the social buzz. Influencers, athletes, and insiders reposted and amplified the hype, turning the Sanders rollout into an unstoppable movement that stretched way past Nike's own channels. Big names helped amplify the Sanders wave.
The level of cachet, your gifts, your skills, etc. do have an impact, but also relationships or lack thereof, perceptions, first impressions, all of these kind of things. Whether it was the workout, whether it was his dad talking about, if my son go to a certain place, I ain't gonna be.
Reporters like Jordan Schultz were sharing his debut ads, while sneaker blogs like Soul Retriever highlighted the Times Square billboard placement that sent the internet buzzing. That massive billboard blasting his signature watch celebration was Nike's loudest statement yet, putting Sanders side by side with the biggest names in sports and entertainment. And this wasn't just a sales pitch, it was a coronation. Nike was declaring Sanders a cultural force worthy of the world's most iconic ad space. The viral reaction after his preseason debut proved it too. One Nike post alone racked up 196,000 likes and thousands of reposts. The kind of fire every brand dreams about but almost never achieves. The replies were just as explosive. Fans dropping lines like "tried to humble him and created a monster," while skeptics debated whether Nike's marketing was going too far. Either way, the engagement was off the charts, and all eyes were on Sanders. But the real revolution is in the fine print of his deals. Reports confirm Sanders secured a percentage of merchandise royalties in both his NIL and rookie contracts. That's a shocking power play that blindsided the NFL while lining up perfectly with Nike's vision for long-term athlete partnerships that go way beyond standard endorsement checks. This isn't the old model of athlete wears product, brand pays fee. This is a joint venture blueprint, where Sanders' success directly boosts Nike's bottom line, and vice versa. And with whispers of a signature shoe line already floating, teasers like the LL2C and Proto 92 rumored for 2025, this partnership looks set to explode into something way bigger than anyone predicted. Nike's Sanders play isn't just shaking up the NFL, it's going global. They've turned him into more than a quarterback. He's now branded as a worldwide ambassador for athletic excellence and entrepreneurial hustle. The campaigns hit audiences who may not even follow American football, but they connect instantly with the universal story of fighting through adversity, grinding with discipline, and breaking through with innovation. And behind the scenes, Nike is running one of the most high-tech marketing ops in sports history.
This clause is called prime equity. This clause gives Sanders a percentage of revenue generated from merchandise, sponsorships, and promotions linked to his name and likeness. If he becomes like a superstar, he could be the richest.
Advanced tracking systems measure engagement, conversions, and even sentiment across every platform: Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, letting Nike tweak and drop content in real time for maximum impact. It's sports marketing science at its peak. But here's the catch. When you build hype this big, expectations explode. Some critics warn that Nike's machine is running ahead of Sanders' actual on-field resume. Still, the $250 million jersey sales tell a different story. Fans are buying into the narrative, not just the stats. And that's even more powerful than box scores. The ripple effect is already shaking the entire sports industry. Rival brands are scrambling, trying to lock down the next young star who can combine talent, business savvy, and cultural influence the way Sanders has. NIL deals are skyrocketing, contract structures are getting more complex, and the line between endorsement and ownership is disappearing. At its core, Nike's bet on Sanders represents a huge shift in strategy toward athlete empowerment and shared wins. Instead of squeezing athletes for profit, Nike is building a system where both sides grow together. It's a move built for a new kind of consumer. Fans who demand authenticity and back brands that actually stand with their athletes for the long haul. The same noise that boosted Sanders' rise is now threatening to tear it all down. Even after a strong preseason debut and record-smashing jersey sales, storm clouds are forming around the young quarterback, casting shadows over his on-field achievements. The very things that made him a marketing goldmine are now fueling controversy that could derail his career before it truly takes off.
Thinking about is the fact that because people had a problem with his daddy for a multitude of reasons, it affected his draft stock. And so you have folks out here that are not rooting for this brother, but he's accustomed to adversity. He's accustomed to...
The whispers began during the draft process, when anonymous NFL executives painted a grim picture of Sanders' character and attitude. Industry sources called him entitled, blasted his horrible body language, and claimed he threw teammates under the bus in combine interviews. And these weren't just random digs, they looked like a coordinated takedown. The resistance to Sanders went way deeper than the normal pre-draft nitpicking. Executives complained about his look at me style, pointing to moments where he flashed a diamond-studded watch mid-game while promoting his too legendary brand. One exec even suggested he needed to distance himself from his father to learn humility, a sign that his family ties were being twisted into liabilities instead of strengths. Meanwhile, the media firestorm has only grown hotter. Anonymous leaks and repeated criticisms have built a hostile narrative around Sanders, threatening to shape his reputation before he even plays a regular season snap. The Guardian described the situation as exposing the cruel heart of the NFL draft industry, where anonymous character attacks have become the go-to weapon for cutting down prospects who don't fit the league's traditional mold. And let's be clear, the racial undertones in how Sanders is talked about compared to white quarterbacks are impossible to ignore. The language, the tone, the double standards, they all tell a bigger story about what's really happening behind the curtain. Critics are pointing to what they call a plantation mindset, a bias against outspoken Black athletes who dare to know their worth and demand fair treatment. Sanders' decision to negotiate unheard-of contract terms and keep ownership of his media rights seems to have triggered one of the harshest backlashes the league has seen in years.
I give to them some warm, some didn't, but I was like, okay, this is just my little appreciation gift to them. Because they don't be having a lot of...
Then came the speeding incidents in June 2025, ammo for his doubters. Sanders was clocked at 91 miles per hour in a 65 zone, then again at 101 miles per hour in a 60. Cleveland Browns GM. Andrew Berry wasted no time calling it not smart and dangerous. Sanders skipped his first court date, later paid his fines, and admitted on Twitch he'd made wrong choices. The problem? Those speeding tickets fit perfectly into the narrative his critics were already spinning. That he's immature, reckless, and all flash, no focus. They use the incidents as proof that he thinks the rules don't apply to him. But the hypocrisy was glaring. Teammates like Myles Garrett had similar citations without nearly the same outrage, highlighting the double standard Sanders faces. And the online space? Brutal. Every slip-up gets magnified and used against him. The most extreme example came from Antonio Brown, whose vulgar social media blasts turned into straight-up personal attacks. Brown's degrading posts had nothing to do with football. They were just another attempt to tear Sanders down. The scrutiny isn't just personal, it's professional too. Analysts claim he leans too heavy on hero ball, pointing to 94 sacks in his last 2 college seasons as proof he holds the ball too long. Supporters fire back, arguing it was Colorado's weak offensive line, not Sanders' decision-making. But the debate rages on. Now, the Browns aren't just managing a quarterback battle, they're fighting a full-blown PR war. Sanders' journey has become bigger than football. It's a test of whether the league is ready to embrace a new kind of star, or if the old guard will drag him down before he even gets started. Sanders' presence in Cleveland has created a media storm like nothing the Browns have ever seen. Some of it praise, some of it venom, and all of it threatening to overshadow the team's actual goals.
$150 million in rookie jersey sales for Shedeur Sanders, which means he's going to commission $14 million. He only made $4.6 million from his rookie contract. So he's already made more than most second, third.
He even trolled GM Andrew Berry after his preseason debut, throwing out the jab, "You're not fully proud." That one line showed how Sanders can stir controversy even when he's winning. But here's the danger. The long-term impact of these storylines could end up more damaging than any interception or bad drive. If Sanders keeps feeding critics fresh ammo, it could chip away at the empire he's building. Sponsors and partners don't just want highlight reels, they want stability. And Sanders has to prove he can deliver both. And the mental toll? That might be the biggest battle of all. The constant scrutiny, the non-stop noise, the relentless criticism, those pressures crush even veteran players. Now add in Sanders' unique business deals, the family legacy spotlight, and media obsession, and you've got challenges that most rookies couldn't even imagine handling. Then there's the health factor. His preseason oblique injury, labeled minor, was still a reminder of how fragile everything can be in the NFL. If injuries pile up, it won't just sideline him. It'll hand his critics another weapon, questioning his toughness and long-term durability. Inside the quarterback room, the competition is just as intense. Sanders is battling veterans like Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, plus rookie Dylan Gabriel. On paper, Sanders looked sharper. His 106.8 preseason passer rating towers over Gabriel's 66.1 with an interception, but politics and depth chart decisions could still block his path. In Cleveland, talent alone doesn't guarantee opportunity, and Sanders has to prove he can rise above all the noise. The biggest test for Sanders isn't just throwing touchdowns, it's proving he can stay locked in on football while carrying pressures no rookie has ever faced. His answers to critics, his ability to own mistakes, and his dedication to team success will decide if he becomes a superstar or a cautionary tale of talent swallowed by the storm.
The very best in Adam Schefter. There is none better, okay? And when you heard them talking about him, you heard folks calling teams, the Adam Schefters, the Lewis Riddicks of the world, Ryan Clarks of the world, others, you as well. And you heard people saying, we ain't taking him. Before the draft.
And the stakes? They couldn't be higher. This isn't only about Sanders. It's about whether young athletes can flip the power structure, demand respect, and still keep the humility and focus needed to thrive in pro sports. Every snap, every interview, every moment in the spotlight is a referendum on whether Sanders is the future of athlete empowerment or a risk to team chemistry and league order. One thing is certain, the noise around Sanders will only get louder as his fame grows. As Stephen A. Smith put it, his greatest skill may not be arm strength or accuracy. It'll be learning how to drown out the noise and protect his long-term success in the NFL. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment below. Do you think Sanders is the future of football or just hype? Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a story. See you on the next one.